I didn't want to go to the office party. Those events always feel the same. Forced smiles, loud music, and people pretending to be closer than they really are. But my wife asked me to come, so I did. I stood beside her, drink in hand, watching her laugh with coworkers I'd only heard stories about. Everything felt normal. Until it didn't. I noticed her body language change before I understood why. Her smile disappeared, not dramatically, just instantly. She stepped back, stiff, like someone had crossed an invisible line. Then I saw it. One of her coworkers, someone senior, someone people respected, had touched her. Not an accident, not a misunderstanding. Just enough that she froze. Just enough that he assumed he could get away with it. She moved away from him immediately, said nothing, looked around the room. No one said a word. That silence was louder than the music. She came straight to me and whispered, "We need to talk. Now." We stepped aside. Her voice was steady, but her hands were shaking. He touched me. I told him to stop. I felt that surge, the kind that makes people do stupid things. The kind that ruins lives in 10 seconds. But I looked at her first. Not him. And she said quietly, "Please don't make this worse. Just handle it right." So I took a breath. I didn't shout. I didn't grab anyone. I didn't turn it into a scene. I walked back into the room. The man was laughing with a group of coworkers, completely comfortable, confident, untouched by consequences. I stood next to him and said, clearly, calmly, loud enough for people nearby to hear, "You touched my wife without her consent. She told you to stop. This is not okay." The laughter died instantly. Every face turned. He tried to smile. "Hey, man, it was just..." I cut him off. Still calm, still controlled. "No. Don't explain it away. Don't minimize it." She said no. That's the end of the conversation. You could feel the room recalibrate. This wasn't drama. This wasn't chaos. This was accountability. Someone from HR stepped forward, then another manager. Suddenly, the silence that protected him vanished. My wife stood beside me, not hiding, not shrinking. And that's when I realized something important. The most shocking part wasn't what I said. It was that someone finally said something at all. We left shortly after. The next week, she was formally asked to give a statement. Others came forward. People who had stayed quiet before suddenly found their voices. Because one moment of calm truth broke the spell. Here's the lesson. Consent isn't complicated. Respect isn't optional. And strength isn't about losing control. It's about choosing the right one. If you ever see a line crossed, don't look away. And if someone trusts you enough to tell you, it's not your job to explode. It's your job to stand firm. Quietly, clearly, and without apology. The story didn't end when we walked out. The next morning, my wife's phone buzzed before either of us had finished breakfast. It was a message from HR, short, formal, serious. They wanted to meet, not to smooth things over, not to misunderstand what happened, to document it. When she arrived at the office later that day, something felt different. People who usually avoided eye contact suddenly nodded. A few coworkers quietly said, "I'm glad you spoke up." One even admitted, "He did something similar before. I just didn't think anyone would listen." That's the part nobody talks about. Silence doesn't mean nothing happened. It usually means something happened before. During the investigation, the man denied it at first, then minimized it, then blamed the environment, the music, the vibe. But facts don't care about vibes. There were witnesses, messages, a pattern. 2 weeks later, he was removed from leadership. Not quietly promoted elsewhere. Not protected. Removed. No dramatic announcement. No celebration. Just consequences. My wife didn't feel victorious. She felt relieved. Because the goal was never punishment. It was safety. One night, she said something that stuck with me. "I didn't want you to fight for me," she said. "I wanted you to stand with me." That's when it clicked. Real support isn't loud. It doesn't center itself. It creates space for the person who was wrong to stay in control. If I had exploded, the story would have been about me. If I had stayed silent, the story would have ended there. Instead, it became about truth. So if you're watching this and wondering what to do in a moment like that, remember this. Listen first. Believe them. Stay calm. Say it clearly. Let accountability do the rest. Because courage isn't chaos, and respect isn't negotiable. Sometimes, the most powerful move in the room is simply refusing to let silence win.